I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on freedom. I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on freedom.
Hi, I'm Dory Lerner, here from the National Civil Rights Museum with another Small But Mighty Storytime. This week we're talking about the Selma Marches of 1965 with this special book called A Sweet Smell of Roses. And it's mostly illustrated with either graphite or pencil, but there's little bits of color to look for all throughout this beautifully illustrated book, A Sweet Smell of Roses. It's by Angela Johnson, illustrated by Eric Velasquez. And this book was published by Simon & Schuster Books for Young Readers. After a night of soft rain, there's a sweet smell of roses as my sister Minnie and I slip past Mama's door and out of the house down Charlotte Street. Past the early morning milkman, over the cobbled bridge, and through the curb market. To where everybody waits to march. Minnie and I are only waist high to most of them. Waist high, Minnie and me. Waist high, holding hands and waiting to march. There's a sweet smell of roses as everyone waits for Dr. King to speak, and the colors, bright light from the sun on the flowers beside the road as we listen to Dr. King on the megaphone say, "We are right. We march for equality and freedom." Then we start to march. Minnie and me, we look ahead and walk faster like him, clapping in time with our feet, looking ahead just like him. There's a sweet smell of roses even as we march past the people who scream, shout, and say, "You are not right. Equality can't be yours." Then we look farther down the road and keep holding hands, feeling a part of it all, walking our way toward freedom. How young they look, but so strong. Can you tell what they're carrying with them? Teddy bear helps them to be strong. There's a sweet smell of roses as more people start marching with us, pouring out of the streets, clapping and singing. Freedom! Freedom! Then someone picks me up and puts me on his shoulders. Someone picks Minnie up too, and we are high above everybody, still marching. There is a sweet smell of roses as we all gather in the center of town, all together, all here, listening to Dr. King as the sun gets higher in the sky. He talks about peace, love, nonviolence, and change for everybody, and the sun gets higher in the sky. When it's time to go, we skip back hand in hand, Minnie and me, singing freedom songs along the streets. Through the curb market, over the cobbled bridge, and past the mailman. To our house on Charlotte Street. Then there is Mama, worried face, waiting there for us. She smiles, after a while hugging us, then takes our hands, and as we tell her about the march, the curtains float apart. and there is a sweet smell of roses all through our house. So, everyone, sometimes there is a smell or a color, something we remember, maybe a picture, a place, or maybe even a stuffed animal like a teddy bear that has been comforting to us and that reminds us of peace. So I would like us to think about things that give us peace. The girls in this picture, they highlighted their teddy bear and they put a little red bow on their teddy bear because their teddy bear gave them peace even in times that were really difficult when they were standing up against injustice. And so I want you to think about those things that might bring you peace. Now first, let's think about some things that we might smell or taste. I thought of cinnamon. Cinnamon is something that when I smell, it reminds me of home-cooked baked things like cookies or cakes, and it reminds me of time together with family. So maybe cinnamon is something that reminds people of a peaceful time or a happy time. Then I think of things that I grow in my own garden because I don't grow roses, but I do grow cucumbers. And this cucumber is one that if I pickle it in spices and vinegar, it turns into a pickle. And the smell of pickles is one that reminds me of summer. And cucumbers, when I taste fresh cucumbers, that's one that reminds me of all of the fresh things that we can grow in our garden. So these are things that give me happiness. But if I were to draw a picture, all I would need to draw a picture of something that makes me really happy is maybe some paper, right? And then a pencil and maybe one color. I drew a picture of my dog, Ollie. Ollie's my best friend. He gives me lots of peace. He gives me happiness and he gives me joy. And every time I get to snuggle with him, he makes me feel safe. So I want you to think about things that make you feel happy and safe and peaceful in this world and draw a picture of something and then use a little color like I used the blue here to highlight Ollie's collar to remind us of what makes that thing that makes you so happy, what makes it bright and what makes it pop with color. So create your picture, share it with friends and family, think about things that you might smell like cinnamon, things you might taste like cucumbers, things that are all around you in your own house that give you peace. And everybody, please join us for another Small But Mighty Storytime, remembering that it's always important to stand up for equality, to stand up for justice, and to remember those things that give you peace and happiness in this world. Thanks so much. See you soon.
Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. I'm walking and talking with my mind, stayed on freedom.